What's up, otakus? It's your tour guide here. Uh, keep saying tour guide. It's your super otaku here. Um, I hope everyone can hear me. I know I've had mic issues in the past. Looks like audio is working. Everything seems to be good. Got our Mariner shirt on again. It's the Mariners still suck, but they're my team, so I gotta cheer for them, even though they suck. Um, Actually, no, they're first place in the AL West, but they have such a bad team. It just they're not. I don't know. I just can't get behind this team yet. They got to show me more before I get excited about the team. Our pitching's been great. It's our offense that's been um, having issues. But anyway, we're not here to talk baseball. We're here to talk comic books. And today is the day that my wife and son returned to Japan. They're on a plane right now. They're flying back to Japan to be with my wife's family, and they do this kind of every year ever since I think our son was pretty much born and post COVID. They've taken the summer to go back, visit friends and family. I've only I don't go with them. I usually stay back. It's more of an economic reason than anything else. But I did join them last year, um, just briefly. Like I took a trip to Tokyo, Seoul last year for 10 days, um, and it was great. But this year again, I'm just kind of staying behind, and they're gonna have a great time. And when I'm here, it's like I return to kind of like my single life. I can kind of eat and do things on my schedule, eat what I want. I can drink. I can kind of have fun. Um, and of course, a lot of the stuff I can't do related to comic books, I get to do kind of. I get to just kind of dive deep into uh, trying to get books. And this summer is no different. But the only difference this year compared to years prior is that I have a new comic book buddy, and he and I have just been having so much fun. I can't speak for him, but for me, like this year's been uh, a year of incredible pickups. Uh, and again, we just watched the Supergirl movie, and man, what a fantastic time that was! It was really is a movie I think everyone should go out and watch. Very entertaining. Don't it's a movie. It's about aliens. It's about like people in space. It's about a character we all love, hopefully. If you don't love Supergirl, if you have a problem with Superman, Supergirl movie, don't go watch it. It's not your jam. Uh, maybe Spider-Man or like the X-Men are your jam. That's fine. If Superman and Supergirl are not your jam, don't go watch it. But please don't ruin it for other people by forming an opinion based on nothing except your dislike for the character. Don't go on and just like hate on the film. It's a great film. I see a lot of people hating on it, and they haven't seen the film, which begs the question: what's the point of that? What's the point of hating on something or speaking up its quote unquote failures of not hitting a box office target figure um, to promote what on your channel, like get views, like get likes or something? Like you think people like this is the like because you have an opinion on something that people chime in and share your opinion, and that makes you, yeah, I don't know, more relevant than other people? No, just chill out with the hate on this film. um and that's the thing, like it's not a lot of people that have actually watched the movie. Like the majority of people that watch the movie actually enjoy it. They actually had a good time. They're posting about it. They're celebrating the movie, saying they'd watch it again or recommending it. So, I mean, word of mouth eventually travels, and I hope that ultimately leads people to make an opinion based off their own viewing of it versus, no, I'm gonna just like not watch it and hate on it. It just doesn't seem like it's worth that. All right, so we got a lot of plans coming up. Jens and I have already made plans for July 4th weekend. We're kind of like hoping to kind of sit that one out, but they're having a sale here locally, and we feel like no, we got to hit that. We got to take advantage of the sale. And the following weekend, so this coming weekend, we got plans to do comics. The following weekend, we also have plans. We're going to go all the way down to Portland, and we've already have our little the spots that we're going to hit mapped out. So for me, uh, two things are very important before this trip. One, I'll actually be getting paid on that day. I'll be getting paid on the day I leave for Portland. Or no, sorry, the day before I leave for Portland. I'll be getting paid on the Friday, and we're leaving Saturday. So I will know if I kind of earned an incentive bonus for my performance. And I told my wife if I hit a certain mark, she agreed to give me 100 additional dollars for the summer. If I don't hit the mark, if I don't bring in the bonus, then I'm shit out of luck this summer. I'm basically going into the summer with like 120 bucks versus 220, right? I've spent a lot, by the way. I mean, if you watch my videos, I haven't been I've been picking up a lot of stuff. Um, so it is what it is. I'm not going to stress out about it, but I do. It does impact kind of how the next 2 weeks will play out. In fact, I may just kind of like tap out of Portland and not take much with me, like 20 bucks maybe, and just focus on really just like dollar bin books type stuff. Because that's kind of what the mentality I'm taking to uh, the local comic book shop next week. Just really just maybe 10 bucks at most, and Portland 20 bucks at most. This way, at least I'd be taking at least 70 some dollars should I not hit my bonus numbers to Vancouver. That's the Vancouver is the real place where we're trying to get a lot of value because of the exchange rate, and doesn't factor in. Like me taking cash there doesn't really factor in. I have to literally purchase with my card while I'm there. So the cash I have now is just gonna go to my wife eventually, but I do want to like keep close tabs because she'll definitely be like, why are there card purchases and all that. All right, well, without getting too far and deep into whatnot, I dropped my family off at the airport, SeaTac, and lo and behold, by the time I got out of the airport, it was like 2 p.m. So I just kind of, like, I wanted to see what Jens was up to, and I said, hey, Jens, I'm gonna probably hit up Ancient Comics later today. If you have time, you want to stop by, I'll be there probably between 2 and 3. And he messaged me back saying he couldn't make it. And so I was planning to just go to their airport, drop my family off, and then head to, hey, what's up, Jens? And then head to Ancient Comics to hunt. And he texted me while I was at the airport, like, hey, man, I can join you. So I was like, yes. So we just agreed to meet up there. So I got a head start. I was in there digging, and then Jens joined eventually. And he didn't really pick up anything there. Or we also hit up Half Price Books in Tequila. So we both didn't really pick up. I picked up more than Jens did. Jens didn't pick up anything because he didn't see anything or find anything that caught his eye. Whereas I picked up 4 books from Ancient, all for a quarter. So we spent $1 at Ancient, and then ironically, at half price books, I picked up. I could have picked up more. I was tempted to pick up more books, but I picked up 2 books, both half of covers. So 2 books for $4. 2 modern books. So all in all, I paid. Hey, what's up, Ron? How you doing, man? Hope you got to watch Supergirl. Um, so all in all, I spent $5 on 6 books, which translates to about a little less than $1 per book. So I'm going to go over what we picked up. All right. Um, I am going to start. What should be the book of the haul here? Yeah, let's start with the half. I'm going to make Action Comics the book of the haul here. No, wait. Yeah. Let's make Action Comics the book of the haul. All right, so we're going to start with. Let me share my screen here. We're going to start off with the quarter bin books. There really wasn't much in the quarter bin books today. Normally, we find something that's like, wow, this is like a big book, a big key. Maybe has a little bit of a condition issue, but we pick it up for a quarter, and it's, in terms of the value, there's a lot more there. But not so much today. In fact, this is one of the books we picked up, Superman: Man of Tomorrow. This is just in anticipation for the next Superman movie, which is entitled Superman: The Man of Tomorrow. And again, this was kind of after the return and the Triangle series had ended of Superman. This came out as sort of like a weekly, now a new Superman story every week of the year. This was sort of a bold weekly edition of Superman. But of course, it didn't really go as far as it was, I guess, intended to go. It ran for a good, I would say like a good year or something, but it just ended up being, I think, too much work for too little interest and payoff. So yeah, this again this wasn't a long run, but pretty cool 90s book here. Not worth anything. I just enjoy collecting these little #1 issues. Obviously, you can see there are, it's not like high grade book. It's got some color breaks. It's got spine ticks, but all in all, just a nice addition to my collection here. Next, we also picked up this Man of Steel Zero. This isn't worth anything. I just don't have the Zero edition, issue. I'm just kind of, when I can find them cheap, like for a quarter, I'm just trying to fill holes in my run. And this Zero issue is one we hadn't added. I got sort of the variant cover here with the UPC logo there. And pretty clean copy for sitting in there raw. But yeah, Superman Man of Steel Zero for a quarter. Just thought these were good books to pick up. This one was pretty cool. Jens and I were just kind of admiring a little bit of a spec book because the way Lobo hit in Supergirl, we are going to see more of them. I'm sorry, I think some characters are just like kind of pitched to the audiences, and it's ultimately the audiences that decide, okay, will this character come back or is it dead on arrival? And I think everybody agrees Lobo's coming back. Lobo's coming back in something. And everybody wants to see We never got Black Adam versus Superman, but hopefully we'll get Lobo versus Superman. And when we do, I think this particular issue will be of interest. Now, this one has an issue. It looks like there's a color break there on the corner. I don't really care about that. It's got some breaks on the spine as well. Again, 25 cents. I just want the book. It's not an investment book. It's never be that. Just a cool book to have. You got this cool Kevin Nolan art cover art here. Great Lobo and Superman cover here. 2002 goodness. This was released in 2002. So, yeah, just a cool cover buy for a quarter. And also, I'm sure we'll be seeing this at some point. Lobo versus Superman, at least some form of it. It won't be like maybe like a movie in and of itself, but I'm sure it'll be a real memorable scene when they eventually butt heads. Um, All right, Ron and Jens are chatting up a storm. Continue to do that, my friends. All right, so what will we show off? 3 quarter books so far. All right. Before we get to the last, I made the last quarter book, the book of the haul. We're going to show off the books we picked up at Half Price Books. We picked up 2 books there, and they're both Dan Mora, this great Mark Waid Dan Mora run on World's Finest. I was telling Jens today, like, I kind of wanted to pick this up as it was coming out. But of course, with the cover price being, $5 and all that, I was just like, I'll just wait. Maybe I can pick them up for like in the dollar bins at some point. In fact, I picked up the number 1, I think, for like undercover. It was like $2 or something, $3. And I've been meaning to pick up more of these, starting with the keys and then just kind of working my way maybe to the first, just like maybe just the key issues. I don't want to build too much of a run on this. But yeah, we picked up 2 just really, there were more, but there were some conditional issues on the other ones that I was thinking about picking up, so I just left them. But these were half a cover, so we're getting them for $1.99 each, $2 each. And yeah, this one's a key one. I don't know what this was key about this, but this one has this great, the Trinity's first adventure revealed. That is, I mean, that is a fantastic Dan Mora cover there. I love just how each character is presented with the different tones and all that. This is just the kind of stuff I really like about cover artwork. And so, yeah, that was just a really cool thing to find today. There were more World's Finest there for half a cover, but I didn't want to spend a lot on picking up those books. But again, moving forward, I think we'll just pick, we're going to be patient with this particular run. But man, if you've read this run, it's just a return to good old fashioned comic books. Like, I love the tone, the mix of humor, the mix of like, in certain serious, it does have take a serious tone in certain respects. But they have all the characters sort of classically introduced in this DC universe. And yeah, they have the relationship between Clark and Bruce. That's the core of this story. And yeah, you couldn't have a better writer navigating this universe than Mark Waid, who's a huge Superman fan. He's a huge DC guy, but he loves Superman, he loves Batman. And so when you get a writer who just is passionate about the characters and the the history and the lore of this of these characters, you're gonna he's gonna do right by it. And again, he's produced this entire run, which is why I want to collect it. This entire run is just an episodic. It's like serial. It's like week to week, month to I'm sorry, what month to month. You're getting so sometimes they're like a two-part story, sometimes a three-part story, but you're getting these just like nice, uh, like nuggets of uh, a story that's um, uh, moving along a linear path, but also moving towards something like bigger in certain respects. So um, it's also kind of integrated with other DC stories. So there's the crossover potential. Um, but yeah, just kind of love. And again, you just can't get better than Dan Mora artwork. Dan Mora is probably, in my opinion, one of the top artists in the game right now. I mean, um, case in point. I don't have to sell him too hard. He's selling himself right here with these covers and incredible stuff. So DC's killing it. This run really marks kind of the return. This is before the movies even, but it kind of marked the return of like DC. Um, yeah, this marks like Jim Lee's sort of like taking over the reins and putting out more just quality content like this. So happy to pick up again. Like I said, I'm targeting World's Finest. I just want to pick it up here and there for as cheap as I can. Hoping to find a lot of these in the dollar bin. So the key issues in the dollar bin. But if we can pick it up for half a cover or less, that's kind of like it's kind of the I guess the benchmark for picking these books up. All right. We're getting now to the book of the haul, which is actually a double. I have two. I picked up my second copy of this. And the reason I picked up the second copy is I'm going to show you the copy I had before show you the copy that we picked up today for 25 cents. So I have this copy. This is my original copy here of Action Comics 584. And this is significant because this is actually Burns' first work uh, on the Action Comics and Superman. This is Burns' first work on Superman. This precedes Man of Steel and the second volume of Superman and the sort of the reset. Uh, I shouldn't say it precedes. It comes out right around the same time. But I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, this one is uh, first in terms of what's published, and then the other stuff comes out um, in subsequently. So a big book if you're, again, if you're kind of measuring these things, like Jim Lee's first work on Superman, Neil Adams' first work on Superman, Joe Kubert's first work on Superman, things like these, like it's just something I like to just kind of mark, because if you're going to collect an artist and his work on Superman, and again, it's only a handful of people that have the privilege of that moniker, because they just don't let anybody work on this book. And if you are working on it, you're damn doing you're doing your damnedest to do your best. Uh, I mean, I've seen covers by like Greg Capullo when he did his first thing on Superman, or like Todd McFarlane when he did his first thing. I mean, they go all out. They may want to make sure that it's a quality piece of work. Um, and so, yeah, you're not just getting your standard fare artwork on a Superman book. You're getting your game. You're taking your time. You're making sure it's game ready, because you don't want to be remembered as the person that made Superman look ass. But I really want to just show off again. It's some great John Byrne artwork. But as you can see, there's nothing here in the inner panel of the book. In fact, you can kind of feel that there's nothing in the middle of the book. And Today I found out there actually was something. I don't know if this is in all the books, but again, I found it in this book today. So this is the book we picked up today for 25 cents. In terms of condition, it's similar in condition. It has maybe a few more conditional. It definitely the color pops on this one a little better. But again, 25 cents for this one. And the reason we picked it up is because I was kind of like I noticed that it came with this fill out postcard at the back. So there's some kind of like it comes with this sort of like I don't know if it was a book or what, but there's this like postcard that you put your name on and you put a stamp and you would get this sort of uh, I guess you got it for free maybe, or no, you could win it. Yeah, you just basically gave them your data and information, and they would. It's kind of like our modern day social media. Like you have a chance at winning this book. It's a collected volume one of Man of Steel, which again hadn't come out yet. Um, Unless this is a second print of some kind. I don't think this would be a second print. Yeah, it's the first print. So again, we just picked up a better copy with the little insert there, which is why I picked it up. Yeah, Jens is laughing out loud. Why you picked up a second copy because it had a little insert in it? Yes, it had a little insert in it, and I had to have the insert. It's also a very, it's part of the history of this era. So like it's the Man of Steel. Like you had a chance to win it if you gave them your personal information. Let them know, hey, I read comic books, man. You had a chance for them to, I guess, mail target you. But look at that, the Man of Steel contest. DC Comics Incorporated. That they're still in New York. I don't know if they're at that address, but they're still in New York. Look at that beautiful Wonder Girl. That Burn Wonder Girl. This is a classic issue. You have to read this one. Superman kind of gets taken over by this guy, and he's just going kind of crazy here. And then he eventually kind of gets zonked out of the body again and returns to his old handicapped self. But and Man of Steel gets into a little tussle with the new Teen Titans. Again, John Byrne's first work on Superman, his first foray into revamping the DC universe here. We get just a nice little run of action from John Byrne and Dick Giordano. Classic stuff. Everybody, if you collect Superman, you have to have this issue. It's just a must-have um, because of the period. And yeah, I'm not. Obviously, there are a lot of copies of this, and if you want to go out and try to get a graded 9.8 copy, by all means do so. But this is just one of those like, if you collect comics, you just have to have this book. It's just part of the rigmarole that you if you collect Superman, you gotta. Superman's hard to collect. First off, I've already expressed this on many occasions. Just because of the volume, the voluminous task uh, of collecting Superman books, it's really hard, and especially given like you get into golden age, it becomes impossible because of the price tag. Superman Golden Age is just like it's like unattainable on most comic book budgets. So you really have to pick your poison when you collect Superman. And luckily, like this is relatively cheap. I got it for 25 cents today. So this is where really like you should be having fun picking these things up, whether it's high grade, mid grade, low grade. I wouldn't pick up a close to modern book like this for low grade, but uh, you do need to, for 25 cents, crap. It's like it's the 25 cents. You shouldn't be complaining about grade. but fortunately we did get a nice graded copy there. So this is going to be our new copy. I don't mind having two copies of this to be honest, because this other one's in pretty decent condition too, and it could be my reader's copy. It could be my like flip through from time to time copies. So I like to keep sort of the I like to keep it like this so you can kind of see the front and back. We got Karate Kid ad here. This is another amazing toy that just never came to my market, never came to my neck of the woods. I was like, where can I buy Karate Kid? Apparently, it wasn't sold. It was sold out, I guess, and it was only in certain areas where you could get this. It never came to my neighborhood, but look at that, beating the crap out of Chosen. All these ninjas. Johnny's there. Johnny's there fighting ninjas. That's sweep the leg. Sweep the leg, Johnny. No, sensei. All right. That is that's it for me, guys. Um yeah, we're having a lot of fun here. Um there you go, 6 books. I do want to show off one last thing before we get going here. And I'm gonna show this off. Give me a second here. So I actually picked up a book, and I want to provide a little update and kind of show the book off again because I didn't get a proper chance to show it off. This book came on the day I watched Supergirl, and so it was sitting in my mailbox. Um, I after work I went straight to the movie theater, so I wasn't able to like get the book. It was sitting in my mailbox as I was watching the movie, and Jens and I had a great time watching the movie. And then I came home, and Jens and uh, I think, jumped on. No, we jumped on the next day. Sorry. So we jumped on the next day on Friday, and on his channel, I showed off the book, what we picked up. We unboxed it, and I showed it off. Well, I want to I want to show it off again because I wasn't able to do it on my channel. What we picked up was a signed copy of All Star Batman and Robin. Really nice book, beautiful copy. It really is high grade. But one thing I noticed upon close examination, if you look here, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it through the plastic and the. I don't think it's going to go into focus here, but if you basically, it's very faint. Actually, you can see it right. I can see it because it's in front of me, but I don't think you guys will be able to see it. Let's see if this works. If you look like right along here, you'll see there's a bend in the book. Right there, you see it? Right there, there it is. You see it right there. Right there. It's like the light is refracting in the bend right there. So that bend, you see the light there, there it is. That's the bend right there. I mean, it doesn't break color. It's yeah, it's very faint. It doesn't break color, but it's a bend. It's a bend in the book. So I kind of reached out to the buyer and said, "Hey, man, did you know there was a bend in the book?" And he's like, "No, I did not know there was a bend in the book." And he's like, "Can you send me photos?" And I sent him the photos, and it's all apparent in the photos. It's the book because it's the signatures there, and the bend is there. And I said, "You know what? I do want to keep the book. I will leave it up to you because I hadn't left him a review yet. You know, I hadn't left him a review yet, and this thing got shipped out like 4 days after I'd ordered it, so it was kind of late getting here to begin with. And then again, the whole communication. He didn't put it in the description that the book was damaged, um, even though it's not like significant. Um, but anyway, I reached out to him. I just said, hey, you know what? I'll leave it up to you to do what you think is fair. There is a bend in the book. We paid $16 shipped. Like $9 for the book, $6 for shipping. So I was just like, for me, I was hoping he'd maybe take $1 off the book. He did give me a great price on it. Don't get me wrong. So I didn't want to be like, hey man, you have to give me a discount. If you didn't want to give me a discount, I'd just probably give him like a mediocre review, right? But he was very fair. He basically gave me half off the book price. I bought this for $9 plus shipping, and he gave me like 450 off the book. He refunded me $4.50. So I essentially got this for like $10 shipped. So that made me really, really happy. So I left him like a fantastic review. Um, and yeah, I will definitely buy from this guy again. But we got a nice signed copy of Batman and Robin there. Beautiful book, beautiful cover, beautiful signature book there. Whew, for $10. Oh man. It's again, like I said, it's been just a great summer of pickups. I've been very fortunate, and again, I want to thank my buddy Jens. I wouldn't have picked up a lot of this stuff without just going out with him on these really fun hunting trips. And so, yeah, again, had it not been for him, I probably would have spent most of these weekends just home, maybe going to half price books. That's about as far as we go because like I have to stay close to home. I have to spend time with the family and all that, and so I don't venture out all that far. Just stay within kind of the my locale, like you know, 10 minutes drive from where I am. There's not much to pick from. So yeah, with Jens being uh, available to like go go farther and hit up shops, it was just kind of fun to like go to different shops and for him it'd been his first time to visiting a lot of these shops, so it's just kind of fun to like take him to these places and also find books for my own as well. So it's been um, it's been a good first half of the 2026. And again, we watched the movie together, and the movie I've just been really kind of the movie stayed with me, and it's like I expected Superman. We were kind of concerned, but I expected Superman to be a very impactful movie going in, and it was. And again, Superman stayed with me all summer as I was picking up books. I was just like very excited about all the prospects for the DCU and just this sort of like new chapter that for DC that James Gunn was kind of laying the groundwork for. And 2026 did not disappoint either. We had a lot of expectations for the Supergirl movie. I knew I was going to love it. I knew I was going to like it going in, but boy, did it deliver! And it delivered in a different way. But I didn't think it would have the impact that Superman had on me last year in terms of how it stayed with me and how I would keep thinking about the story when I watched. Superman pretty much stayed with me like yeah, it stayed with me for a long time. But I feel like Supergirl. I was telling Jens today when we were hanging out. I was like, kind of want to see Supergirl again. I wouldn't mind going to see it again because I just feel like there's more. Supergirl is one of those movies where you're gonna pick up more nuanced uh, aspects of the film, like just like how like the little emotional blips here and there in her origin story, just picking up all those little emotional cues that I might have missed on the first watching. On the second watching, there's some certain things I kind of like. I kind of want to like make sure when I watch those scenes over that I'm seeing or it's validating kind of what my thoughts on uh, her origin and character development are. So those are the kinds of things like yeah, it's not something you really need to do, but it's if you're really if you're really I guess when you care about a character and you're really kind of just what's the word I'm looking for? Obsessed, not obsessed. When you're really passionate about a character, uh, you kind of want to like watch it over just to catch all those little things you might have missed about that storytelling, right? Just all the little cues you might have missed around. Um, I'm just thinking like I was watching the funeral. I don't want to spoil anything, but there are some scenes there where like you kind of like are just watching it and it's just raw and it's just like kind of pure emotion as you're watching it, right? You're just kind of like in the moment there, just watching it, but you're not you're not watching the details in the scene, the little you know like the costume design, all those little things. You just kind of it just kind of glazes over and glosses over, and it's not like you're intently looking out for the little details. So that's kind of what I mean by what I want to watch for all those little nuanced cues. There's probably a lot there in the scene itself um, that's telling a broader, bigger picture that you're just going to miss on the first viewing unless you're really tuned in. So I do want to just kind of um, for my own for my own benefit, just kind of get a better uh, understanding of all the things that happen. Because again, the first viewing was there's a lot happening and a lot going on, and you are in the moment in a lot of these things. But when you kind of have a time to yourself to reflect and then maybe do a second viewing, the second viewing I'm sure will add a lot more depth than the first viewing. So that's kind of where I was mentioning it. It's worth another view just to again catch all the little details that I missed in the first one. Hey, what's up, Tyler? Thanks for hanging out, man. Hope you're having a fantastic last July, or sorry, last weekend of June. Um, we are knee deep in summer now. It's officially summer of Supergirl. It's a summer again. If you haven't watched the Supergirl movie, Jens and I highly recommend you do so. It's a good time. It's a movie where if you watch it streaming, it's not going to have the same uh, impact. You got to watch it like super. I don't say this about many films, right? But the ones where it's heavily CGI, it's heavily like based on um, uh, you know it's got a lot in terms of the audio, right? The things going on in the scene, just the visual eye candy you're going to get from the different worlds or the different uh, landscapes that um, superhero movies or movies that deal with science fiction or horror or fantasy, some of the more outlandish fictional type genres. Those are definitely worth watching in the theaters if they're good, right? And that's the thing. If Supergirl were bad, then you probably wouldn't have to waste your money on seeing it in the theater. But Supergirl is good, and you're if you're eventually going to watch it, either way, you'd be doing yourself a disservice to miss the experience of watching on the big screen. And I feel the same way about Superman too. Superman on the big screen was fantastic. But I would say this movie more so because it's set in outer space. It has a cosmic setting. Because of that, um, fact, you're going to get a better experience on the big screen. Um, just some of those scenes are, yeah. I mean, there's just a couple of scenes there where you're just like, wow, yeah, like the power of that scene um, is presented in the wide, the wide ratio, and with the audio, and just having it pop, like not getting the peripheral distraction of being in your living room, just like having it there in front of you, um, is an incredible experience. So again, if you have a chance to go watch it in the theater, please do so. This is not to like, I'm not paid by Warner Brothers. I'm not paid by James Gunn or like DC Studios or Warner Brothers Studios. I'm not paid by any third party. This is just a sincere, honest fan reaction. Um, and I know everybody here on my channel is here because they love comic books. They love this whole hobby of, you know, um, reading and collecting, and um, you guys are as passionate about these characters and stories as I am. And there's a difference between people who are passionate about the stories through the books and go watch a movie like this versus just your lay fan, right? Your lay like moviegoer who just wants to watch a good movie. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying comic book movies are all good. There are bad comic book movies, but I think for us comic book fans, we're just happy to have a comic book movie, whether it's good or bad. We try to want to have a good time going see it. Now, that doesn't mean it's good, but I think for most of us, even the bad ones, we tend to like, you know, make it. We tend to just give it, um, you know, we give it a pass or give it some grace with, um, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I've seen a lot of bad comic book movies, but I don't feel the need to hate on it or talk bad about it. Um, I'll just, it is what it is. Like Fantastic Four, it wasn't that great. I didn't think it was all that good, but it wasn't. I didn't hate on it. It wasn't like the worst movie I'd seen. Um, it was worth watching. Um, but yeah, like these past two films, all again dealing with Superman and his cousin. These past two DCU films have been, they've been like home runs. Um, I really think Supergirl's a home run. I gave it an 8.5 out of 10. Um, which begs the question: is that an 8.5 a home run? Wouldn't that be like a triple or something? A home run would be something like, like something closer to 10. Um, I get it. I gave it an 8.5, but the more and more like the movie sits with me, and the more and more like, you know, Like, I wanna apologize. I initially said I wasn't a fan of the soundtrack. I kinda said, like, the soundtrack was okay, it wasn't great, it wasn't the worst thing. No, the soundtrack is actually really, really good. I started listening to it more closely without the movie, just the music, and it's incredible music. So my apologies to the composer of this soundtrack. And then again, there's all these like sort of modern pop songs that kind of drop in the movie too. Those are great selections for the movie. They really helped uh, kind of build a more lighter mood, and it kind of puts you in this sort of like dancey, celebratory kind of feel. But then the underlying classical composition of the soundtrack, I thought it just kind of felt repetitive, but when you go back and listen and when you watch it, how it how it builds tension and kind of builds toward toward a climax in the scene, it really works. And so yeah, like those are the kinds of things. Like I feel like on a second viewing, I'm gonna listen to the soundtrack a little bit more intently. But it's a great soundtrack, man. It's fantastic. I want to say like I I kind of thought it was just mediocre or whatever because the theme stuck in your head and it was kind of this like repetitive. But the thing is, it's so catchy is why it sticks in your head, and you kind of like fool yourself into thinking, oh, that little catchiness is that's all you remember. So you think it's like this sort of like one dimensional like tone or like melody or lyric in the soundtrack, and it is a great lyric. Like it's a great phrase uh, in the overall uh, composition. Don't get me wrong; it sticks with you. That's how great it is. But there's so much more than that one catchy phrase, and so that's the thing I enjoyed about like when you start going back and you start listening and we're rewatching certain scenes, you understand. Oh, okay, no, the soundtrack is really pretty fantastic, especially like earlier parts where it's more kind of subtle and soft and building toward that main theme. Um, those actually work really, really well. And so, again, I want to apologize to the composer. I don't know her name, but I heard her talking about like her how she was approaching um, the composition, like what she wanted, how she wanted to build it, and it was a solo single voice, like piano single voice to represent Kara, and then she adds all these additional elements as Kara journeys through navigates through what she's facing in the movie, and I heard that and I was like, man, that is so spot on. And then so when I kind of listened it again, I gained a new appreciation for it. So yeah, kudos to her. It's a fantastic uh, musical storytelling, and it really complements the film well. And it's catchy. That's the thing. It's very catchy. So you're gonna kind of walk out to the theater humming it, and trust me, it's like it's stuck in my head right now. Like that whole theme thing is stuck in my head. So that's a good sign. When you're coming out humming or it's in your head, just rattling around the same phrases rattling around your head. The composer did a good job. So there you go. Claudia Same. Okay, that's Sarn. Claudia Same. I don't know who that is. Well, let me look up the super row composer. I don't want to. I want to do her justice because we love our composers here. Claudia Sarn. Okay, Claudia Sarn. Yeah. So what else has she composed here? Shining Girls, the yogurt something or other. All right. She doesn't have a huge, repertoire behind her, but hopefully this leads to more opportunities for Claudia Sarn, man. She's our composer of the uh, of the week or the month, whatever. All right, guys. I got work to prepare for tomorrow, but I just wanted to hop on, show off the haul, and let you know what's coming up. But yeah, we should be doing more comic book stuff, picking more stuff up. We got our Portland trip coming up in 2 weeks. We got our July 4th sale that we're gonna probably have a. I don't want to pick up too much, but there's one book in particular I want to pick up, and if we get some other books at the sale price, we'll probably pick up more. But stay tuned for that, and stay tuned for just a fantastic, fun summer with Super Otaku, man. Glad you guys are here. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.